And so I'm going to do something that may not seem to make sense at first. So,
Man, I don't know what to say.
you don't need to say anything.
Oh my goodness, that is gorgeous.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing!
Wow, that is beautiful.
If you'd like to follow the process of turning a block of wood like this into a guitar like this, then you've come to the right place. And if you would like to see me give this guitar away, click subscribe, hit the bell. And so these are going to have that really nice burl wood over top. There's some options. I've got that as an option. So there's that as an option. Tune in next time or the time after that, and we're going to figure out by then how this is going to be laid out. Well guys, here we are back to Let's Build a Guitar. Going to be looking at these pieces of wood. I'm going to show you today how we're going to put these onto the front of those EXO Horizon guitars. Here's the thing, it's really not my decision as much on how I put this on as it is the person that's having me make these. So Chili Sauce told me which ones he liked. I showed him all my options and he watched the video and he said, here's what I want on the front. So here we go, guys. This was my favorite, but he had the great idea of doing this one because he likes the light here. And this going into where it's going to be light on the edges as it comes around. A little bit of challenge, we're going to have to do some epoxy on these knots so we can fill in those little bits of grooves there. The other thing is, because I kind of liked this setup, I had this all nice and tight for this seam. I didn't do this side yet. So the gap is still here, so we got to bring these two in so that they butt up against each other good and tight. Maybe you watched the last week's video, maybe you didn't, but we went and saw Anna Vidovich, and on our way home, I had to stop by Rockler. Well, hey, one more stop. It's an expensive woodworking store, but you can find some pretty creative and awesome tools in here, so I'm gonna go check this out for just a little bit. I kind of can't resist stopping when I get the opportunity to stop at Rockler. Christmas presents, anybody? Some of this mix-all tint, and that was in that video that I did the white mix-all with it. Well, this is something I need to get you. Watch me use a steel bar with clamps to get my straight cuts in. I think this is going to help out a lot. For the price, not too bad. So 90 bucks gets me a 50-inch cut for the sled. It's time that I get one of these. Remember when mine died? I do. Well, Corwin, we need to do a death march now. Sad day. I could use another one of these too. Yeah, I didn't expect to be buying a bunch of stuff, but there are actually some pretty good deals, and I need some things, so Ron's helping me carry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're all set? All right, yep, we are. Here? Well, and there you have it. I just ate my words. I went in and found some good prices at Rockler and quality equipment. So I got some stuff for trying to fix a few things that I just found out that I was having an issue with, so I'll share that with you later. It has to do with some back plates. And I don't like it if things don't quite work the way I want them to, so I've got to do some fixing. I picked up this saw sled, and so I'm going to try to actually use the saw sled, see how well that does at cutting these, and maybe I can just get those butted up nice enough that way. We'll try it. Otherwise, I can just go back to my 1-inch steel tubing and get those so that I can get these nice and tight together. And we'll get these glued on to those pieces of maple. I'm gonna go sand these down, get them planed out flat so that we can get these ready to put those really beautiful zircote tops on them. Got the sled put together. Let's give this bad boy a try. There are sometimes when I watch my videos as I'm editing and I go, you know, I could have explained that a little bit better. So I'm going to try and do a good job here. This is expensive wood. I do not want to mess this up. So these need to be cut so these seams will be fitting tight together. In order to do that, I need to have these match up very well. I've set my saw blade and I've tested it to see that it is at a 90-degree angle. However, I am not going to completely 100% trust that that is going to be exactly what happens. And so I'm going to do something that may not seem to make sense at first, but then hopefully I explain it well enough that you get what I'm doing. This side here, I'm going to put this way and it's going to cut it off that way. This side here, which would go like this, I'm actually going to flip it upside down and I'm going to put it right in line with this up here, so that as I cut, what's going to happen is that if by chance the saw blade is at any angle whatsoever, if it's angled on this a little bit like this or like this to the slightest degree, if I cut the other one upside down, then what's going to happen is when I put these together, that angle is going to fit over top of the other. Now they shouldn't be angled at all, but if I do this, I will completely eliminate any slight bit of angle there so I can get a really good tight seam. This will not always work. I know it's not always convenient, but that's what I'm going to do. I am also going to use double stick tape to tape my pieces down to the table, then put this on, clamp it down, and then make my cuts. I don't want these to move at all. I can't chance messing it up, so I'm going to put double stick tape on these and then on the table. So as I bring them together, looks like it did a pretty good job of working the way I wanted to. There are a few little tiny chips here and there though, probably from the blade. This wood is quite brittle, which is something else I know, so maybe it's better for me just to sand it down. I am going to give it another sand down. I've got plenty of space here on the edges. I can take a little bit more out of the center, so I am going to do that just because I don't want these little chips there. Otherwise, it really did a good job. So if this was a softer wood, if it wasn't so brittle on these edges, maybe more teeth on the blade could have helped. But otherwise, that did cut it nice and tight. Okay, I've completely sanded this down. I'm going to unclamp it now. I've only done this one side. I haven't done this one yet, but we're going to see if by chance is it a good tight fit. We'll find out here in a moment. Gonna use a t-shirt. Hang on. There we go. Using my Kara and Nate peanut butter printing t-shirt. Such a fanboy. That's what my daughter says. Because I buy merchandise. Right down here, I still don't have quite the tight fit that I want. It's pretty good and tight from here to about in here. And I've got this little bit of a chunk out there. Like I said, I'm not too worried about that because I can move this up this way a little bit. But there's just a little bit of a gap there, and I'm assuming that's because of this piece of wood then. So, good enough, right? No, in fact, if you find yourself saying good enough and you know you can do better, then do better. Don't say good enough. The difference between really high quality and mediocre or junk is good enough. If you know you can do better, do better. So I know I can do better. I'm gonna work on this piece now. While I do that, I'm gonna work on this. We'll come back in just a moment. But while I'm doing that, I had one of the best compliments that I think I've ever had as long as I've been doing this guitar thing. And it came from a gentleman named Ashwin. Ashwin is from the Netherlands. He's in the military over there. And he sent me a short little video clip and he said, "Steve, you've inspired me." He built and gave a guitar away. He gave it to his cousin who is in a band over in Europe, actually touring Europe right now. And this is their interaction. It's pretty cool.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
It's an Ecto original.
You crafted all this again. Oh my God. This thing is gorgeous, man. Wow. Wow. Oh my God.
It's not a bass, but
Oh no, I play guitar too.
yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Check this out, Kelly. Hey, this is my cousin from over here.
How you doing?
Hi.
Kelly. Look at this.
That's awesome. That's so
Thing's
cool.
rad, man. Oh, thank
That cool, guys. Good job, Ashwin. Ashwin, best compliment I've ever had was to see somebody follow up and do something similar. So thank you so much for sharing that. All right, I'm going to take this piece of wood out of the clamps here. Do this in real time so you can watch. And let's see how we do now. Make sure I've got the right side here. There we go. Okay, I will point the camera down so we can see. Okay, so let's pull this together. Here we go. Oh, all right, now that, guys, is good enough because I don't think I can do any better than what that is. In fact, I have never been able to get my joiner to get it this tight as what I can by using those bars. All those little chips are gone now that I had on there before from the saw because I just took those off when I restrained it. That is one tight joint in there. Of course you're going to see a little bit of line because you see where it comes together. That's always going to be, but it is a tight joint. When I clamp that together and put it on, that line is just going to be, I mean, it's going to look great. Well, all right, I am just about getting ready here to glue this drop top onto the plain level maple that's under there. I have got small little pieces of wood ready so that I can use those for my clamps. I've got, somewhere around a bazillion clamps here getting ready to go. I've got my glue, I've got wax paper ready to go, and I've got some water with the rag. There's one more thing that I want to do first though. I'm going to cut this down a little bit so that I can get clamps in where I want them, especially like into these areas in here. And there we go. That's what I mean by a rough cut. It's really rough cut. All I need to worry about is the center line. And I'm going to get one of these. I'll just have to get it on the center line. I'll get one side down get that secure, and then I'll put the other side on. Maybe I'll start with this side. And I'm going to slide this just a little bit this way. I'll glue that piece on. I'll get that firmly in place, and then I'll run a line of glue along this edge and on this part, and then I'll bring this up and in as well. Well, what do you think of that, guys? Quite a mess, huh? Lots of clamps. Should be a pretty solid, tight drop top, however. We don't want to see any lines where it's not contacting the other wood properly. Next time, we'll take these clamps off and we will route it, and we will start to shape this body, which should be kind of fun and exciting. All right, guys, well, I hope this was beneficial. Lots of crazy clamps here. I understand this is ridiculous. There is another way of doing this using a vacuum bag, which I do not have, and I haven't tried doing that. I know other guys who have and have had a lot of success using a vacuum bag. I've never tried that. I don't have the bag to do it, so maybe I'll just try picking one of those up sometime. And I'm clamping away, lots and lots of clamps. So I will get this one done, then we'll clamp up the other one, and then we're going to be able to start routing these out. And just a reminder as well, still working on this guitar. This one we're going to give away. If you would like and subscribe, that would really help me out, as well as if you're interested in helping me put together, build, and give some of these guitars away, go check out my Patreon page. And maybe go check out some of the guitars I've given away if you haven't seen any of those, so you can see kind of what it's all about. We'll catch you next time, guys. Keep fighting for joy.